Hello everyone, Squid Does Dev here. This is devlog number 3 of this small project. Right, so in the last video I focused on the ball launching mechanism and the ball itself. I showed off how it was able to be launched from a point. It could bounce off the player's head, and I'd also finished the win and loss conditions that could be picked up when the ball either hits the ground or a win condition when the player hits the ball whilst standing on the goal ground. You can see that I've actually made it distinct from all the other test platforms here by just making it a blue color, which I probably should have done, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, so since that point, a lot of stuff has actually been done. Before I press play and show it off, I'll just head over to the hierarchy here, and the project files down here. You can see that I have more levels now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 of them are levels, but 1 of them is UI here. So I have made pretty decent progress on the UI systems. It doesn't look very good at the moment, but functionally it behaves pretty well. So what I will do is I will press play and we will see it in action. But first, notice how the ball does not launch immediately. That's because I've managed to implement a coroutine so it counts down from a player, a chosen sort of time value, and then it launches, so it doesn't launch immediately. So you might be able to implement a countdown for that later on. But yeah, the main thing here you can see is that when the ball hit the ground, rather than the player, whilst the player was on the goal ground, the miss UI comes up. And this this triggers when the fail condition is detected by the ball, when the ball hits the ground without hitting the player. Then the ball, of course, communicates with the game manager, and then the game manager will communicate with the UI manager that's in this UI scene, which is very good. I'll talk more about that later. But yes, you can see that I've missed the ball, and this UI panel comes up. The UI system that I've implemented is, I think it's pretty good, but like I said, I'll talk about that later. Anyway, we have 3 buttons here. We have quit, restart, and menu. I'm not going to press the quit button. Trust me, it works, but it would actually just quit the application. I don't want to do that, so we're going to leave that for now. There's restart and menu as well. Both of these do the same function at the moment because there is no menu scene. But if I were to press menu and restart, if I press restart, look, the level has restarted, and I can try and do it again. So let's see if I can get it done. So if I bounce up here, look, catch, there we go. The game doesn't stop yet because I haven't implemented that yet, but if I was standing on this goal ground here, the ball comes down onto my head and I can catch it, and this catch panel comes up instead. And then, if I press this next stage button, I'm now on to the next stage. And you can see that level 2 scene has been loaded, as well as the UI scene. So if I progress like this, you can see that this level is different. It's just got more jumps. So if I stand here, look, so the catch panel comes up again, and I'm able to move on to the next stage, level 3. And yes, the UI and level 3 scene have both been loaded at the same time. Now let's see if I can finish this level. It's a big long staircase upwards. And there we go, that's all 3 levels. Now if I do press next stage, it will just load me into the UI scene, and of course that won't work because, well, there's nothing else in the UI scene other than the UI, so yeah, no cameras rendering, only the UI scene is loaded. So right now the scene management system just reads directly from the build index, which works for now, but of course if you go past level 3, it just loads itself into the UI script. So I will have to make a system that stops it going to the UI script, but I think it'll be pretty easy, but I just haven't done that yet. But yeah, in order to get the UI scene to load on top of all the level scenes here, I made a really interesting discovery in the Unity documentation called additive loading, which is a really cool system. Basically, it allows you to load scenes on top of ones that have already been loaded. And so, in order to avoid having I go into the UI scene here. So if you see, It has a base canvas, which is just, the base canvas for all the UI panels that I'll eventually have. And we have a catch panel and a miss panel. So these are all the panels that will, appear based on their respective triggering condition. And here we have this panel script. It has, references to all the buttons, and it's the same here. But having copies in the UI manager is here too. The UI manager also houses all the panels that I'll eventually have. It won't just be these two, because I need to have a main menu and pause and all that kind of stuff, but that's later on. So in order to save myself from having instances of these two things in every single level, I just moved the scene, moved all the UI stuff into one scene, and I can use that additive loading to load the UI scene onto all of this. So it saves me a lot of work, and I learned something pretty cool out of it as well. So yeah, that's kind of it right now. But I don't mean to press play on the UI scene. But yeah, the UI system, whilst admittedly not looking very pretty right now, it's all just very sort of basic, basic background, basic buttons, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. The scene management and UI systems are coming along very nicely. There are a few loose ends that I still need to tie up, of course, loading into the UI scene, but independently, or by itself, so it's just the UI and no other levels. That needs to be fixed. Of course, the UI needs to be made a whole lot better. But yeah, lots of good progress recently. I'm very happy with it. And yeah, that about wraps up for this video. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.